Check, check. Good morning. Hello.
I want to give you, if I give a 1-minute warning. Wow. If only my grandkids responded like you do. I want to wait for the high sign from my wonderful senior executive assistant. And she just gave it to me. Okay. Yeah. Good morning to Convocation Fall 2026. Our message today is simple. Our greatest strength has always been people. So I want this convocation to be about you and celebrating every one of you. However, before we do that, we have a couple people. If you can go back one more. Okay, this is what I warned her I was going to do. I was going to ad-lib through this whole thing and say, keep up with me. We have 2 birthdays to celebrate today. First one, the infamous, famous Wendy Riggs. And we also have, Kayla, could you come forward? Kayla Hansen from HR, she's right there too. And is Jennifer Bailey here today? If she is not, I would like to acknowledge her birthday today as well. Now I would like to introduce the trustees that are here with us today. Someone asked me a few years ago, what do Board of Trustees do? And I have 5 of my bosses sitting here, so here's what I want to tell you. Trustees help run the institution from a strategic level. Being a trustee is not a part-time job. Some people may think that because we don't pay them enough for the work that they do for us. But I also want to acknowledge my 5 bosses that are here with us today. Board President Carol Matthews. Board Vice President Richard Dorn. Trustee Sally Biggin. Trustee Lorraine Pedrati. You have your own fan club, Lorraine. And Trustee Jack Rice. Our student trustee, Samantha Young, was here earlier. Samantha, oh. And that is also my habit. I want to recognize all the faculty, staff, managers, administrators that were here over the summer, making sure the college continued to run. So all those that worked this summer, please stand and be recognized. And as you know, we are going through a transition of presidents now. I want to recognize the committees, members who have devoted so much of their time and effort and energy to finding a replacement for me. And first I want to start with the 2 co-chairs, Vice President Richard Dorn, and also Trustee Dr. Mullery, but she's not here today. Now the other people who you see up there that I will also name, I would like for you to stand and also be acknowledged. Leah Herrera. The famous Wendy Riggs, happy birthday girl. Dr. Crystal Morris. Tatiana Robertson. Amber Kavanaugh, who I almost spilled coffee on this morning. But also we had Chris Albright. He is a community member with O&I Industries. A student, Chetna Sidhu. And Charles's better half, Hillary Reed. Mark Bernards. Colin Trejo. And Dr. Alan Price. I also want to take a few minutes to recognize my executive cabinet, who I rely on every single day to make sure that I don't walk off a cliff and do something that's going to harm the institution. I want to start with Julia Morrison. I apologize because I was about to go off script, and I said I better not go ad lib on this one. Crystal Morse. Amy Moffitt. Back in the back. Marty Coelho. Molly Blakemore. Molly, there you are. Molly has a hard job amongst all the other jobs. She has to tell me what to do and what to say, and more importantly, what not to say. So Molly, thank you for all your advice and guidance for me. Jose Serrano, HR. I would also like to recognize our extraordinary deans. Dr. Alan Price, Dr. Rebecca Robertson, Rory Johnson, Bob Brown. Bob, where are you? Just so I know where you are. Oh, there. Colin Trejo. The very funny and comical Jessica Howard. And Kristen Lima. I have often said that the secret sauce that CR has is our shared governance. And I really don't want to come off the stage without acknowledging all the people who we rely on to make sure the college moves forward together. CR full President Michelle Haggerty. And as I call your name, I really do want you to stand so we can acknowledge you. Let's start over. Michelle Haggerty, where are you? Dr. Eric Kramer. Senate, Wendy Riggs. And her other half, Vice President Jennifer Burleson. CSEA, Rachel Warzy. Tatiana Robertson. Amber Kavanaugh. And Jordan Walsh. Where's Jordan? I would like to invite Jose Serrano to come to the stage to introduce our new colleagues.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. We would move forward with welcoming our new employees. Okay. Let's take a moment to welcome the newest members of our CR family. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our new employees. first, I would like to welcome our new classified employees. Okay, we have Amanda, Ashley, Caitlin, Chalkin, Donovan, Dylan, Emerald, Grace, Jessica, Jocelyn, Christy, Kim, McKenna, Martina, Melody, Miles, Samuel, Shaylin, Talia, Tara, Tommy, and Valeria. Next, I would like us to recognize our new management. Okay. Clifford, Irene, Ryan, Leah, Macy, Marcel, and Stephanie. Next, please help me welcome and recognize our newly hired full-time faculty members. We have Erin, Amanda, Crystal, Gabriel, Katie, Kelly, Kristen, Amy, and Brad. Next, I would like us to recognize our newly hired associate faculty members. Okay, we have Aiden, Ashley, Azalea, Bailey, Daniel Friedman, Daniel Sedgwick, Don, Deborah, Donna, Garrett, Jack, Jared, Jesse, Jocelyn, Luis, Kasia, Kelly, Kelsey, Kyle, Mike, we're almost there, Nancy, Nathan, Paris, Sarah, Tiffany, Tyler, Yvonne, and Zachary. Thank you. These are all our new members to see our family. So appreciate you all for having and celebrating them with us. Okay. As Dr. Flamer mentioned, an institution is only as strong as the people who serve it. And today we have the privilege to recognize those who have dedicated and helped shape our community. Since last year, we have expanded this recognition to include associate faculty members. We celebrate years of service in 5-year intervals, okay? Recognizing the lasting impact these colleagues have made through their commitment, expertise, and support. Congratulations to all of our honorees, okay? These are the individuals we are celebrating for 5 years of service. Amber. So what we'll do is we have a long list of 5 years. So what I'll have you all do is we'll celebrate them as they come in to the screen, and we'll celebrate all 10 employees who are coming on the screen all at once, okay? I don't think people want me to be here the keynote speaker as years of service this time around, okay? So we'll celebrate all 10 employees who come in on screen all at once, and then we'll move on to the next slide. Thank you. Okay. Next slide. Okay, these are... Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. You all did a great job with 5 years of service. Let's move on to the 10 years. So celebrating our 10 years of service are the individuals we have. Help me now celebrate 15 years of service with us. I'd like to mention for all the folks who had the 5, 10, and 15 years of service, if you haven't received your pin and certificate, please reach out to HR and we'll get that to you. Okay. Now we move on to the 20 years of service, and we'll ask is please hold your applause until I have read all the names. And as I read your name, please join me on stage for a group photo celebrating 20 years of service, and you'll be receiving a certificate, a pin, and a redwood tree. Okay. Ann Sullivan. Do we know if Ann's in the room today? No? Okay. She's not here with us today. Edith Ramirez. Erica Silver. Greg Tolino. Jessica Herrera. Dr. Keith Flamer. Yes. We're celebrating all our employees today. Dr. Michael Dennis. Michael Peterson, Dr. Ryan Emenaker, Shannon Sullivan, next slide, please, Sheila Hall, Shireen Cockrum, and Stephen Jackson. So thank you. Can we give them one more round of applause for these individuals? Thank you all. You guys are, yes.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you. We're now celebrating our 25 years of service.
All right, I prepared a small speech. No, this is pretty good. 25 years, you get to step away from the mic. Sweet. No, seriously, this place is awesome. I love what I do. I still got some tread on the tires, so anyone's planning on, I'm shooting for number one. I was talking to Todd recently. Seniority, Todd's number one. He looks like he's starting to look a little weak. A little tired. I don't know. I think I can beat him. We were talking out there. This is what you do, man. There he is. So, yeah, I still got some tread on my tires. At least another 10 years, Alan. We're rolling. But in all seriousness, thank you so much for everything everybody here does to make this place awesome, right? I tell my kids, who are a little older now, my daughter just got her first tenure-track biology position. She's teaching West Valley College over near Santa Cruz, teaching community college, following my wife and I footsteps. But tell my kids, do something you love and live a life of consequence. And this place gives you every opportunity to do that. So thank you very much for all you do to make this an awesome spot. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John. John, I will say I expect the same when we're celebrating your 35 years. Okay. We will now celebrate our 35 years of service. And we have Jane Gibbs. I'm not sure Jane is here with us today, but if she's not, can we give her one more round of applause? Thank you. Now we're celebrating our 45 years of service. We have Dr. Harry Pike, and I know he's not in this room here with us, but I know he's in Zoom. So thank you very much, Dr. Pike. All right. Now we're on to celebrating 50 years of service. Okay.
I would like to say a few words, and of course, those of you who know me, that's a very rare phenomenon. I never say just a few words. I usually go on and on, but I won't, I promise. Now, first of all, I expected a crowd here, but Paul isn't here. Is he on Zoom? He actually started a few years before I did, but he's younger, so it doesn't count. But and some of you are probably wondering, oh God, how old is this old guy? Well, I'll give you a hint. I was born before Pearl Harbor. No, I wasn't. Sorry, let me take it back. I was conceived before Pearl Harbor and born after Pearl Harbor. Now you can do the math, or I could do it for you. I'm 84. I know. When I was 21, I went to Berkeley in the 60s, most of the decade, and wild time to be at Berkeley. When I was 21, I was in a class with a 30-year-old, and I was just amazed that this guy could walk and talk and study, and so yeah, I'm 84, and I'm still teaching. It's amazing. I would never have dreamed that. I still work out. I still, I always tell my students that I'm the old guy with the young kids, because I actually have, my youngest is 21, and my oldest is 52. So I have kind of a range of kids. I've earned every one of these gray hairs, I guarantee it. And you guys know this sort of thing. I taught high school for a couple of years after I finally graduated from Berkeley after changing my major 5 times. And I taught high school for a couple of years. In Marin County, I taught math. It was not a hard luck place, but I was never satisfied. I went back to graduate school. I was in a PhD program at UC San Francisco, the medical center. And yes, it's a medical school, dental school, and all that, but they have graduate programs. And so I was in a program, well, it's called microbiology, but officially I was in what's called molecular virology. We studied tumor viruses. The people in the program the people ahead of the program got the Nobel Prize for the work we did at the time. I was not part of the actual Nobel Prize work, but that's okay. I was on a peripheral project. They were lucky I wasn't on that program, their particular one. I did work in research for a year and taught high school for another year, but I was looking for a community college job. And my preference was Northern California coast. I had 4 interviews. My first one was here at CR, and I didn't know too much about CR. I knew a little bit about it. I knew someone who who had been up here, talked to them, and they said it's a nice place around there. So I came up, had an interview with the other members of the biology department, which they were kind of weird, and I think I fit in. So I got hired, and I have to say, you know, that first year I wondered, am I going to like this? Am I going to be able to do this for a while? And and I really thought about this because I'd done so many other things and was never quite satisfied. And I did this after the first year. I stopped at the end of the first year, and I go, you know, I kind of like this. I think I could do this the rest of my life, and guess what? That's what I've been doing the rest of my life. I've done other things that I've enjoyed. I mean, you know, as part of being at CR, you get a sabbatical. I had a sabbatical at Cambridge University in England. That was amazing. I did a second sabbatical at Berkeley, and both of those times I came back and introduced some new programs to CR. I enjoyed this. But you know, at the end of these 50 years of teaching, and I was 30 years full-time, by the way, and 20 years part-time. That's how I got it to be 50. You didn't have a big enough, that's not a big enough thing for 50. Anyway, I'm going to plant it and see if it grows. But you know, at the end of the 50 years, I will say something. I've worked with some amazing people all over campus, and I don't know most of you because most of the people I've worked with originally are kind of not here anymore. And so, but I've worked with amazing faculty members, amazing people in classified and everybody else. It's been a wonderful place. And I am going to teach another year. This coming year, I'm going to teach. People ask me if I'm going to teach after that, and I go, well, to be honest, at my age, you don't make long-term plans. and it's a serious kind of thing. I keep myself in good shape, and I tell my kids the reason is I want to see them grow up and do what they're going to do. But you know what? In the final analysis of all these 50 years of teaching, or my life at 84, the two things I really am proud of and happy about are, one, my kids. I raised 7 kids. I have 3 biological kids, 2 adopted kids, and 2 stepkids. I'm really proud of them. And the other thing is teaching here. And teaching here has been an absolutely wonderful experience for me. I think it's been good for most of my students. Some of my students, by the way, are working here. They're teaching here, and they're. I will say that from my perspective, I've had a great career. Most of my students became nurses because I taught the pre-nursing classes, and they're out in the community. They have jobs. They can get jobs if you have a nursing degree, and that's impressive. And it's a very important field. But anyway, the point I'm making is that the most important thing I've ever done is raising my kids and teaching here. And what I would say to any of you, at 84, I'm still working. Well, I wasn't necessarily planning on that, but here's the point. Anybody can do this. I don't mean teaching, just doing something you enjoy, doing something you're passionate about. And I really have been passionate about teaching, and I think CR has been a wonderful place for me to teach. And I want to congratulate everybody who's here working, because I think it's a great school. So, thank you.
Paul was not able to be here today, but we also want to recognize his for 50 years of employment here with us at CR. Okay. Now we would like to honor our classified employee of the year. Okay. Before we announce this year's employee of the year, let us take a moment to recognize all of our nominees. There's more. A summary of the statements made about this year's Classified Employee of the Year award winner include: this employee is an exceptional, dedicated, hardworking, and student-centered professional who consistently goes above and beyond to support the college community. Serving in key student services roles and at the high school level, they bridge critical gaps by expanding access to essential programs such as EOPS, SAS, and telepresence courses, and connecting rural students directly with the broader institution. Beyond their formal responsibilities, they actively build strong campus relationships, volunteer on academic senate, and support new faculty navigating curriculum pathways, widely recognized as humble, empathetic, and non-judgmental. They serve as a vital advocate for guiding light for students facing complex barriers, making them an invaluable member of the institution. Presenting this year's recipient is Matthew McKinley. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Our next award is going to be the Catherine G. Smith Leadership Award. Right? The Kathy G. Smith Leadership Award recognizes an individual, employee, or group of employees who have embodied both the letter of the spirit of leadership excellence within the CR community. The nominations for this year's awards were a summary of statements made about this year's Catherine G. Smith Leadership Year Award winner include: they have demonstrated excellence in collaboration. They've met regularly with faculty leadership for several years, actively listening, collaborating alongside administration to advocate for colleagues, support communication, and elevate our institution's voice at the state level, particularly in legislative advocacy. They have done an outstanding job of keeping a broader community informed regarding key regulatory and legislative matters. They have demonstrated excellence and commitment, facing adversity and tough conversations head-on over the years with both leadership and administration. They have consistently approached these discussions with great care. They understand the vital importance of relationships and recognize that both working together, we can achieve far more for our colleagues and students than we can individually. They have demonstrated excellence in innovation and their leadership roles. They have worked to rebuild and strengthen community along faculty, particularly in recent years. Their initiatives include organizing off-campus social gatherings, publishing a regular newsletter, and distributing custom apparel to build morale and unity. Through all these endeavors, these nominees have demonstrated excellence in leadership and learning. Our colleagues, institution, and students wouldn't be where they are without them. Congratulations to this year's Kathy G. Smith Award Leadership Award recipients, CRFO Senior Leadership, Michelle Haggerty and Dr. Eric Kramer.
we're so honored, and I'm so happy that Eric and I were nominated together because we work as a team, and so it's really great. I learned how to work as a team in leadership from Mike Haley and Pete Blakemore that pulled us into this work. Eric and I rely so heavily on Natalia and on John Johnston to be our sounding boards and to tell us when we mess up, which is usually me. And the work that we do also with our executive committee. We have such great faculty leaders and our associate faculty and our full-time faculty on that committee. And then working with the administration. They've taught us a lot. Everybody always shows up. We always work as a team, and so that's what's helped. Thank you. Eric, you are.
I'm going to keep this short. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I've been up here for enough time now, okay? I would now like to invite Carolyn Perkins, Chair of the Elevate Committee, to stage to present the Elevate Award.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm standing here as just one of the many, well, I'm short, as one of the many incredible members of CR's Elevate Committee. As a reminder, Elevate stands for equity, leadership, empowerment, vision, access, transformation, and engagement. As a Senate subcommittee, members of Elevate work diligently to unpack the ways in which CR can continue to foster inclusive practices, strengthen equity-minded leadership, and create environments where students and colleagues can feel supported, respected, and free to engage fully here at CR. Before I continue, I'd like to ask all the members of Elevate to please rise so we can appreciate each and every one of you for your commitment to engaging in very difficult conversations, finding common ground, and advocating for belonging across the entire district. For the record, I think some of them are too humble and didn't rise, but I know who you are. Over the past year, we've undertaken a range of impactful initiatives. As you may recall, a few years back, the committee created a permanent DEIAA art installation titled Infinite in Our Diversity, which is located in the library. It honors each year's Elevate awardee alongside a piece of student artwork awarded at the juried student art exhibition in the spring prior. This year's student art piece, if you can advance to it, was awarded to Rosalind Bannister Long for their piece titled Happy Place. Rosalind is here with us today. I've had the pleasure of getting to know Rosalind this morning, and I can't say that we made a mistake. We picked an incredible human to be permanently represented in this installation. While the piece is not yet up in the library, know that the installation is located when you're entering the library in that back left-hand wall, right when you walk in. Can't miss it. Stop by the next couple weeks, and Rosalind's piece will be added permanently to the installation. Now, let's take a moment to acknowledge all of this year's Elevate Award nominees, whose dedication and impact enrich our college community. These include Stephanie Fryermuth, Bernadette Johnson, Courtney Knowlton, Dr. Stacy Ann Salinas, and Cody Yeats. This year's awardee attends many conferences across the country to help inform their teaching, advocacy, and support for students. They use grassroots approaches that make tremendous impact and turn academic concepts into meaningful experiences for individuals. They have demonstrated leadership in how they conduct their classes, address students, staff, and faculty, and engage in difficulties surrounding equity, diversity, and student identity. This awardee started the API Club here at CR to foster a greater sense of belonging for students. They coordinate classroom visits at local high schools and have helped many students apply for college transfer. They address difficult course content with grace, offering resources to help students balance emotional responses to current and past historical events. This year's awardee is an all-around caring individual with an open-door policy for students, staff, and faculty. And let's be honest, they have the best snack drawer. Please join me in honoring the 2026 Elevate awardee, Dr. Stacy Ann Salinas.
Okay. Hi. Good morning. This is so embarrassing. Thanks everyone for recognizing the work that Elevate does, as well as the work that I do. I went into the degree or degrees so that I could help my community. And so I'm happy that I am doing that in some capacity. Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. It's like super embarrassing. But I just want to thank all my mentors here, the supportive staff at Creative Arts, and all the other wonderful, beautiful people who I've met my 3 years I've been here. I'm so very grateful and honored. And yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm very honored. I don't know if I deserve this, but I'm very grateful. Thank you.
I'd like to now welcome up our beautiful, amazing, spunky Academic Senate President, Wendy Riggs.
What's up, team? Good news, we have a break right after this. So I get to announce our Associate Faculty and Faculty of the Year awards. And we're going to do Associate Faculty of the Year first. These are our nominees. I am going to say words about each one of our nominees. You already know Ralph, biology faculty. I'll give you a little bit of math. Today's my birthday. When Ralph started here at CR, I was 1 year old. Laurel Jean is English faculty for us, and she is a fierce advocate for associate faculty. We're very grateful for her work. Brad Morin teaches math for us. If you don't know Brad, go to the science building on Friday afternoons, and you will see him playing chess with our students. Rebecca Wilson teaches living skills classes at Del Norte, and I just wanted to read this to you. Her colleagues notice vibrant hallway atmosphere when her classes are in session. I love that. She also did curriculum work last year, and all of us know that that deserves many an award. And that means that our winner is Stephen Quiggle, psychology faculty. Come on down, Quiggle. This is what I'm going to tell you what folks said about Quiggle. Aside from being a fantastic, supportive, and professional colleague, Stephen is a wonderful instructor to his students. The person who submitted this said, I typically have multiple students who are also enrolled in Stephen's classes, and all of them are eager to talk about what an amazing instructor he is. His lectures and assignments interest them enough that they discuss them with me unprompted, and his professionalism and knowledge gives students confidence in their performance. Whenever Stephen and I have spoken about pedagogy and our students, he is always positive, forward-thinking, and kind. Congratulations. You want to say words? You don't have to.
I'm nearly speechless. Yeah, right. If you're one of my students or if you know me well, you got to call BS on that one. What a privilege. I just want to say thank you very much. And, I think anybody who's doing anything here remarkable with our students, it's only remarkable because of all the support that we get from each other, top down, bottom up. We are a reflection of each other. And that sounds a little disjointed because I didn't really have a prepared speech, because I thought I was going to be following Ralph. And I want to say, by the way, thank you for not doing the Dr. John Pedicino. I had 911 on speed dial. I was like, don't leap off the stage, Ralph. Thank you very much. What a privilege. I can't wait to share this with my wife. She'll be proud of me.
Okay, that's cool. Pedicino. All right, here we go. Full-time faculty nominees. Let's see them all. I'm also going to say words about these guys. So we have heard from about Dr. Stacy Ann Salinas already, but I did want to read the comments that the nominee here made about her excellent teaching practice and the way she goes above and beyond in setting a very high standard as a faculty member. That's pretty awesome. Amber Bunton is math faculty associate dean and has, if something's happening on campus, Bunton is probably part of it. And if something needs to be done, we're probably asking Bunton to help with it. Which means that our winner is Dr. George Pitamianos. Come on down. I'm going to read the comments. I have to read you all the comments. I know. George, this is what the nominating human said about George, who's back there now. George has been a champion of a curriculum committee chair this past academic year. You have to stay here. This past spring, so this was written in spring when we are really glad that he's still here with us. This past spring alone, according to agenda action items, the curriculum committee reviewed over 250 workloads. We're sorry, George. All of us, right? We will never do this to our curriculum committee ever again. Many of these were new course program proposals. As someone who serves on the curriculum committee, so this person nominating George saw real time what was going on in there. I have been blown away by George's ability to support colleagues district-wide as they develop and revise mountains of curriculum. I have wholeheartedly appreciated his ability to motivate committee members as they fight burnout, and I appreciate that he is using this tidal wave of curriculum to advocate rather than scold, for the most part, inviting departments to consider what a more sustainable or compassionate rotation would look like for updating their courses and programs. We hear you. In addition to serving as an incredibly busy committee chair, George also teaches on Saturdays, offering face-to-face history classes at Pelican Bay State Prison, serving incarcerated students enrolled in our Pelican Bay Scholars Program. In that role, he supports faculty and staff, offering much welcomed input and guidance during Scholars Community of Practice meetings. In all, George is a phenomenal faculty mentor, well respected by both colleagues and students, and I couldn't ask for a more involved and invested colleague, and I think that is true for all of us. G-Pot.
Right. Thank you. I'm like Stacy Ann. I don't think I deserve this. There were some other well-deserved colleagues up there. I'd like to just thank everybody on the committee, especially I can see my the two staff members who probably should get 2/3 of this award right there, Cameron and Tara. And they should stand up because most people don't know them because they're not visible like faculty are. And anyway, they're too shy, but there they are. Anyway, thank you very much. I've been here since I got hired in 2000 in the fall, and John is going to have to climb over me to get to number one, because and just for the record, Tony Satori and I were hired in the same year, and yet I am one position more senior than him. So I just need to say that for the record. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
And now look into my eyes. 5-minute break. That's all. 5 minutes. Be back here in 5. Bye-bye.
There you go. Thank you. Gives them a little. So just a little reminder, I am a very minimal, very quick intro. I'll introduce you by the name. Intro from that order. Already on the stage. Yeah. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be talk into the not gonna, no, you don't need it. You're gonna. He knows to nudge you if you get to a side press.
Oh, no, do it again. She got my head in the last one.
Good morning once again, colleagues. Welcome back from your break. I am excited to see how many of you returned. Thank you. All right, good morning. Good morning. Right on. Thank you for that. All right, as you know, our theme for this convocation is looking forward to the future together. And I can think of no better group to help us explore what that means for the college, for our district, than the leaders you are about to hear from. Across our district, they work every day alongside our faculty, staff, students, and community partners to expand opportunity, respond to community needs, and shape what comes next for our college. They lead very different areas of the college, but they do so as a team. They do so with a shared commitment to our students, to our communities, and to the people who make this work possible. What you'll hear this morning reflects not only where we're going, but something equally important, how we get there together. It is my great pleasure to welcome those already on the stage for our keynote, Mr. Bob Brown, Dr. Rebecca Robertson, Dr. Alan Price, Mr. Rory Johnson, Ms. Jessica Howard, and Mr. Colin Trujillo.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Colin Trujillo, your Dean of Education Support Services, and I have the privilege this morning of kicking off our keynote, looking forward to the future together. When you work at CR, you have a lot of experience planning for the future. We have ed plans, annual plans, technology plans, strategic plans, program plans, facility plans, enrollment plans. I think somewhere we even have a plan for what to do with all the other plans. But that's not why we're here today. Today we find ourselves in a moment of transition, at a crossroads. There's real challenges facing higher education, facing our institution, our communities, and most importantly, our students. We're tasked with examining tough questions like, what will our community need from us in a world transformed by AI? How do we find our students and reach them sooner? How do we make sure our students can go back and contribute to the communities that they come from? And how do we remove barriers to education that our students are trying to access? We have to ask ourselves what our students are going to need from us 5 years from now that they don't today. There's a lot of changes, but when we think about changes, what doesn't have to change is what makes CR so special. When I think about the future and what we're going to need, I think some of the things we're going to need the most are the things we're already really good at here at College of the Redwoods. Knowing our students, building relationships, seeing opportunities, and believing in the transformative power of education. I believe in the transformative power of a community college education because it changed my life. Changed it twice, as a matter of fact. First, when I showed up at my local community college as someone who never planned to go to college, and the second time when I came to work here and got to give that back a little bit every day. A few years ago, I had the privilege of standing on this stage during Convocation. For that year's keynote, we did a student panel, and I said at that time that I believe the thing that brought us all together, the thing that unified us, was student success. I still believe that that's true today. I think CR is greater than the sum of its parts. What makes us so special is our ability to work together, to collaborate, our interconnectedness as we move towards that common goal of student success. It's the advisor out at Pelican Bay going into the prison to meet with an incarcerated student and help them figure out what classes they need to take. It's the instructor up at our Klamath Trinity site working with a community member to incorporate traditional knowledge into a forestry class. It's the coordinator at our downtown site meeting with a local small business owner to solve a training need. And it's our IT professionals working with a student on the first day of class to set up their multi-factor authentication. Because our students, they don't experience our counseling and advising department. They experience, what classes do I need to take? They don't experience our IT department. They experience, I can't log into something. They don't experience curriculum. They experience that connection to their education, that spark, that moment when they get it, when they think, maybe I do belong here. Maybe this is something I want to pursue with my life. When we all work together, they experience College of the Redwoods. When we talk about looking forward, we're talking about the problems that we're going to solve together. We're so excited to be here on this stage today, talking about the exciting work and upcoming initiatives. But make no mistake, that work's not going to be accomplished by us talking about it up here today. It's going to be accomplished by everybody in this room coming together to make it something real for our students. So whether you're a new associate faculty member on campus for the first time this week, a 20-year administrator, or a 50-year employee, I believe we all have a part to play in CR's future. As we work together to strengthen community partnerships, improve access to community education, and address community workforce needs, as we come together to put the community in community college, when we look forward, our job isn't to predict the future, it's to make sure our students are ready for it.
Good morning, everybody. I am super excited to be here. I was talking to Dr. Flamer today and Wendy Riggs that this is like my absolute favorite time of year. During the summer, there's a lot of great work that's happening. Lots of my colleagues that I interface with to make all the things possible that are happening throughout. But this week, faculty start coming back, and there's this little buzz that starts happening around the campus, and we're starting to see our students here who are looking for their classes and trying to find all of the places they'll be. So it's just my most favorite place and time to be right now. As I think about the future and as we move forward in the future together, I think it's important to remember that our future is not defined by any one single person here, not any one program, not any one department, not any one building that we're building, but it's really defined by all of us and how we show up every single day, how we show up for our students and our colleagues and our community. But it's also defined by all of the students that we serve, all of the work that we need to do. You all are the center of the work that is the student experience. And I think, Colin, you talked about that like everything we do really is for those students. It is interwoven, their experience is interwoven from start to finish. Every single interaction that we have with them, every activity, everything that we're doing really shapes their path. Rory, yesterday we were in a gathering, and he said something that really resonated, that our students may remember that hard class, that class that really challenged them, that made them go, can I do that? Can I do this? Am I going to be successful? But what they're really going to remember at the end of the day is the faculty and the staff. Every single person plays a role in their success. Whether you're teaching them, they're going to remember that, those inspiring faculty that bring that concept home, that help them be successful, that encourage them to continue. But they also remember how the classroom looked when they get there, and that's our maintenance and our facilities people. They remember the person who took a minute to walk them to their class when they didn't know how to get there. They remember calling the IT department and going, I can't get in, and that person on the other end that helps them to get there. We all have different responsibilities here, but we all share a very common purpose. And that really is what makes College of the Redwoods super special. It's an amazingly special place. We're a unique community. We have very close connections with our students, with one another, and with all of the communities that we serve. We do have to listen. We do listen now, but we have to continue to listen. We adapt, and we have to respond thoughtfully to the unique goals and needs from each one of those communities. And there are more. There's lots in our region. We have to develop programs that keep those community needs in mind, so that what we offer is relevant, it's responsive, and it's also effective in keeping our communities going and healthy. One of the ways that we see our mission in action is the breadth of the educational opportunities that we provide. In the 2025-2026 school year, CR conferred around 1,200 degrees and certificates across the campuses. But behind each one of those students who's learning new skills, meeting new goals and challenges, are all of you. Each one of you that helps them to get to those milestones, meet those challenges, and frankly, have their dreams come true, right? You're making dreams come true. Our commitment to students also means creating pathways. We need to have high demand, living wage careers while providing opportunities for transfer, for personal growth, and for lifelong learning. It's not all about necessarily just getting a degree or certificate, but there's other things that are involved in that. Healthcare is only one example of the many. We're expanding existing programs and developing new programs in response to community needs, but that's really only one part of the growth. We're also working on construction and skilled trades, forestry, natural resources, data science, business, AI, accounting, social services, and addiction studies, just to name a few. We really have to respond to workforce needs and give students those meaningful career pathways and practical skills. We're also investing in indigenous language education, which is so important. It preserves culture, strengthens community, and creates new opportunities all at the same time. We also have to expand access. We have to recognize that our students don't all come to us from the same place, that same starting point. Traditional degrees and certificates have to be complemented by non-credit and dual enrollment types of activities. Non-credit helps with foundational skills, short-term workforce prep, but also creates pathways towards additional education. Those are some of the places where students go, I can do this. It creates non-threatening environments for them to learn and grow. And with dual enrollment, we're reaching students earlier so that they can earn credits while they're in high school, and they can begin to see themselves as college students, as CR college students. They're a part of our community while they're still in college. But the growth's not limited to programs. You guys are seeing buildings and constructions and all of these things that are happening. We have Del Norte revitalization, that whole campus being revitalized, and 2 new healthcare hubs, one in Arcata and one on the Del Norte campus. Student housing to accommodate all of these wonderful people that are coming, and our community stadium. These represent investments to students and our future. They create an environment of learning, connecting, confidence. We were talking, I think, who was in the courtyard yesterday? We were walking through the courtyard of Creative Arts, and they were talking about how that space was a place of connection and growth, and where students come together, and you can just, I think it was Dana who was talking about that, and it was just inspiring to hear that. But we're creating these spaces for our students to build confidence and to prepare for what's next. And as we celebrate what is underway, we also have to look ahead, like Colin was saying. We have to look ahead. What does our community need? What skills will our employers need? And how do we make those pathways more accessible to the people in our community? How can we ensure that students see themselves reflected in the opportunities that we're providing? Those questions are going to guide our future with partnerships with one another, programs, and how we move forward with the work. Again, none of this happens with one person. We collaborate intentionally. We have to support one another across the district and all work together, all our campuses, our community partners with our community partners alongside us, and always, always keeping our students at the center of everything that we're doing. There's a shared privilege in our work. We get to watch people grow, build confidence, and strengthen skills and become capable and resilient. And that's really all of our shared privilege. And it really is why moving forward together in the future is so important and why it matters. We're not leaving behind what makes CR so special, and Colin, you did a great job about talking about some of those things, but we're carrying all of those strengths that we already have forward while we continue to grow and listen and adapt and create those new opportunities. Our future will not be simply measured by the buildings that we construct or the programs that we launch, but it's going to be measured by the students who walk through our doors every single day, the opportunities that they discover, and the careers that they build, and then ultimately the communities that they strengthen and the lives that they go and they impact after they leave here. And really that is our shared work, that is our shared privilege, and that is what our privilege and our future holds. So let's listen, let's continue to collaborate and support one another. Thanks.
Thank you, Jessica. You know, I never know what to do with my hands. Lisa, what am I supposed to do with my hands? So, no, good morning, everybody. For those who don't know, Rory Johnson. I'm the Dean of Energy, Entrepreneurship, Skilled Trades, and Technology. I'm getting better at that one. You're going to hear common themes today. It's not an accident. You're going to hear us talking about dual enrollment, non-credit, Indigenous Language Institute, student services, these different things that are central to what we do now, but also, as Jessica talked about, what we're doing going forward. We already do things very well. That's been talked about. But where we focus our energy sometimes is what helps steer us in a direction in an intentional way, right? That's what we want to be, is intentional in what we're doing. I'm going to talk a little bit for the next couple minutes about a couple of things more specifically. So I'm going to talk about access to education. How do we provide what we do to our community and to the people who are relying on us to bring that to them? And also a little bit about workforce development. You know, these are both things that we talk about in our mission statement, right? We highlight accessible education and career readiness, you know, also known as workforce development. And these are central to what we do. We are part of the engine that drives the economy of Humboldt, Del Norte, and parts of Trinity County, right? And beyond, really. And that doesn't work if our community cannot access what we do. So what does access look like? I think if we look back over the last 10 years of some of the ways we have created access, it can be a strong indicator of our potential future, right? Think of the Pelican Bay Scholars Program, been mentioned already. As a college, we put together, and there's specific teams that lead these initiatives, and then there's everybody else who's there holding them up, supporting them, and then ultimately supporting the students as things develop and grow, right? So the Pelican Bay Scholars Program, about 10 years ago, started as a very small group of people working towards a goal of bringing higher education to incarcerated men at a maximum security prison. It wasn't without controversy, but we cannot deny the impact that program has had, the access that we have provided to those men to grow into different people. We're all transformed. And sometimes when you look at transformation, I think that's what a lot of us really gather, and what feeds us in the hard times is that the inspiration we get from watching our students thrive and grow and change and evolve. And so there's no better place to observe that, right, than when you see what has happened. So if you ever do get an opportunity to participate in some way, I encourage you to do so, because it can give you inspiration to get you through the hard times. It's hard work. It's all hard work, right? What we do is hard. Another thing that we can't gloss over when it comes to our past and how we are capable of, I think, anything we want to do. And that is how we responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. Spring of 2020, we all remember it. While our lives were being turned upside down, so were the lives of our students. And right in the middle of that, we had this college trying to continue. We didn't know what that looked like, but we had leadership, both in faculty, the administration, student services, staff, who got together and over the course of, 2 weeks, put us back online. And off we went. And it wasn't easy. And we did it. And so when I think of those two circumstances, I feel like, and I hope you do too, we can overcome these next challenges that are coming with us right now. And we can thrive in those challenges. So that's the history of access, a very small part of it. What about the future of access? Non-credit has been mentioned already, and when the more we look at non-credit, non-credit has not been something that we have embraced as a whole over time. Yes, we've had non-credit through our adult education program with our colleagues at Eureka Downtown who have been for a very long time fighting the fight to bring education to people who didn't think maybe education was for them, or who struggled with language barriers or didn't understand our systems, but they had a friendly, inviting place to go into to get started along the way. Non-credit offers low stakes, repeatable options. There's lower financial barriers to entry. As we all know, a pathway into for-credit education. And it's supportive, right, of non-traditional students and community members. But what's next in non-credit? Naturally, we're going to continue to provide the adult education resources that we've been doing for so long. But even though adult education is non-credit, not all non-credit is adult education. And there's an important distinction there. So our task is to investigate that and to find where non-credit education fits with the rest of what we're doing, how it can serve our community and provide an avenue into college, into higher education for those who may feel disenfranchised by the way that we do things normally. So my challenge to you is to think about how non-credit fits in your discipline. Does it fit everywhere? I don't know the answer to that question. Like how we got through the COVID-19 pandemic, this is the kind of thing we do together. We explore, we investigate. And non-credit is the next horizon for access at College of the Redwoods. Another thing we do that isn't always, I think, the most student-centered process, but is one of the things that I think impacts our students in a way we don't always think about and in a significant way, which is how do we build our schedule, right? So our students interact with us through that schedule. They access us through that schedule. So in the future, this has already begun, right? We are already investigating new ways of using software to help us analyze the schedules that we've built and give us data on what is the likely need for a particular course, for a particular group of students. We have the days of the dreaded spreadsheet rolling over from one year to the next with small adjustments. That's a thing of the past. And we need to work together. And when I say we, I mean all of us. We have to have information from student services. We have to know what the students are saying before they're entering the classroom. We have to have feedback from faculty with their expertise in how things should run, but our schedule needs to be built in a way where the students can take those classes that they need. That means more than just not making sure things don't overlap, but it's also different modalities, different lengths of courses. There'll be a talk about shortened courses. These are all things that make our schedule more accessible. So I don't go on forever and ever, which I can do. I'm going to jump ahead now to a little bit about workforce. And to simplify it, I'll say this. We all, everyone in this auditorium and watching on Zoom, are part of workforce development for our community. Every person, financial aid, when you're helping a student get through their FAFSA so they can enroll, you're contributing to the economy and to the future success of the students. When they come here, they come with the belief that coming here will improve their future employment prospects. And so when you're teaching your classes, yes, we have industry-specific training, But we also teach communication skills. We also teach, in all of our classes, communication skills, critical thinking skills, social awareness, and through their interactions with all of us, our students can learn the most requested thing our employers tell us they need, the almighty soft skills, right? So these are all things we do to contribute to the workforce. And so I would just ask you, even if you're teaching in a discipline that isn't necessarily always thought of traditionally as career education or workforce development, ask yourself, what can you do? Do you know a community member, a business owner that can talk within your discipline about careers, about work, about the future of your discipline and how they can earn with that? Think about internships. Be creative. Is there an opportunity to bring to facilitate your student interacting with an employer? And finally, think about interdisciplinary collaborations. There's a great one between the construction technology program and Art 15, where the students in the art class are going into the house that is being built and putting art into the house in a very commercial way, right? This is an add-on to the house. But really, the main thing I want to leave us with is, you know, as we're making connections, are we connecting our students with their future, with what we're doing? And I just want to encourage us to be thinking in that way about what we do and how it connects with our workforce and how it can help students access it.
Let me just say up front to my colleagues that are sitting at this table, as well as Dr. Morris, it has truly been my pleasure to work with these individuals on a daily basis. They're some of the most sincere, hardworking folks. And I'll say it, I wake up each morning with a goal to just try to keep up, for me to try to keep up with you, and for that, thank you. Well, good morning. I'm Alan Price. I am the Dean and Servant of the Math and Science Division. I am also proud and very happy to say I am starting my second year at CR. And I'll say it up front, I love CR. You know, coming into today as I'm driving in, I'm thinking about the question that we have behind us, our future together. I'm thinking about some prepared words, and I hope you'll bear with me. I'm going to forgo my prepared words, and I'm going to speak primarily from the heart. And I'm doing that for the purpose of, while I can, and I will say a few points of why I think our future is strong. I feel very, very optimistic about it. But I also recognize it's equally important to hear what I've seen from CR, what I saw last year, and how that ties to where we started today's session, of why I think our future is bright. But as we start to think about the future, I believe it's very important to recognize the present and also never forget the past. And I'll say it up front. While we have a sense of excitement today, I feel it in the room, there's a little bit of sadness with the upcoming retirement of Dr. Flamer. And I'll say it publicly. Thank you, Dr. Flamer. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your commitment to this college. And thank you for your outstanding years of service. I believe where we are today, really in a big part, is due to you. When I think about our future, I think about before I came to CR. I came from another district, and yes, I've been in higher education a number of years, as long as John Pedicino's been teaching, certainly not as long as Ralph, but I've been around, and I saw, I watched, I knew something was happening up here. I saw it in the enrollments, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand until I stepped foot onto campus. And over the last year, I really see how special this place is. And I believe it really is grounded into what Dr. Flamer opened us up on at the start of today. It's really the people. It's not about locations, it's the people here at our main campus. It's Amber Kavanaugh and her amazing team supporting our downtown center, Misty Knight and the wonderful folks out there supporting KT. It's Dr. Kristen Lima, Tanya Anderson, Val, and so many others that are working hard up at Del Norte. I see how special CR is on a daily basis. This week, I was reminded of that. I was reminded of how special CR is from yesterday's associate faculty orientation, from yesterday's luncheon with our tenure track faculty. When I started teaching, I was given a textbook, a syllabus, and told, figure it out. So to see all the energy that we're putting in for our folks, it's really about success. We want their success. We care. I see it. I saw it, and I continue to see it. I saw, looking back, that CR is really about community, the community of our students, most importantly, but our graduates. And we all talk to them, we run into them. We hear their stories about the impact that CR has made to their lives. I see it in our partnerships. Last year, when I had the opportunity to step onto Cal Poly Humboldt's campus for the first time, and I went there for a conversation around our exploration of new degrees in marine biology, chemistry, and engineering. Their response was not one of, you're a competitor. Their response was, you're a partner. We're here to help. I saw it last year, actually the end of spring, from Eureka High School. I saw it at our end-of-year math and science barbecue. We needed a barbecue grill. A call was made. Eureka stepped up and said, you can borrow ours, no questions asked. I saw it in the call we received from Busco Lumber. They know how much our trebuchet or our catapult means to Science Night. They said, we want to help rebuild it. I see it in the people. I see it in the smiles. We smile a lot up here, by the way. And I have to shout out to Angela Stewart, and I will say Maria, and I'm sorry, Maria, I don't know your last name, but certainly she works hard in making sure our administration building, I'm sure other buildings, are spotless. They exemplify, by their smiles, who we are, what we do. Well, I will also say that I'm sure my math folks are squirming in their seats, and they're saying, you know, Alan, everything you said, you know, it's true, but we want the numbers. We want the facts. Everything you said, they're feelings. Well, here you go, my friends. 2020 was a bad year. Our world was flipped upside down. And if we look at where we were system-wide, 72 districts, 116 colleges, enrollments were declining before COVID. At one point, over 2.4 million to 2018, 1.8 million. But if we look at 2018, 2019 as kind of that pre-pandemic year, and we look at it where we are today as a system, we've recovered. Closely enough, we've recovered. But if you really extract out the data, that recovery is not equal. Only 53% of the colleges system-wide have either hit or exceeded their FTES from 2018. And if you look at the mix of those numbers, there's been change. It's not the standard, what we're used to, of a traditional credit pathway through college. It's shifted. We're seeing larger increases happening across the system in non-credit. And in fact, if you were to extract out the non-credit numbers, we as a system are about 2% under where we were in 2018. So it's having a big impact. So a good question is, well, what about CR? What about CR? Well, we left last semester at approximately a little over 4,400 FTES. We're about 13%, a little bit more than 13%, more than we were before COVID. I would say we have not only recovered, we have outperformed much of the system. In fact, we're at 25% of the system in terms of pre-pandemic recovery. When I came to a CR, I was sitting down with Dr. Morrison, and I said, I think, based on what I've seen before coming, that CR has opportunities. We have opportunities in dual enrollment, and we have opportunities in non-credit. And Dr. Morris, being Dr. Morris in her kind way, smiled and said yes. But I saw, and I learned, that the work had already begun. And you're hearing it from my colleagues. Work in non-credit has picked up. Amber Kavanaugh and her team last year greatly provided great focus on it. And you're hearing it with the realignments of non-credit to the deans on the credit side. It's about creating that vision and that opportunity in that space. Dual enrollment is another perfect example of how far we've come as a college. And I will say I'm proud to be part of the dual enrollment initiative, but I will also say that where we are today, especially from what I saw of the work last year, it's all due to Cliff Lemastiff and Christina Morris. Amazing individuals who worked hard to spearhead, not rebuild, we're certainly not rebuilding, but reignite, realign, and move us forward. And if you look at where we were and where we are, in 2018 we had approximately 341 K-12 special admit students. In spring of 2026, almost 1,200. Threefold. We're seeing it. And for my math folks, I believe we're on that exponential curve, and we're going to see some amazing growth opportunities coming up over the next few years. I certainly can talk about the benefits of all, the non-credit, what we're seeing there, certainly on the dual enrollment, but my colleagues clearly have highlighted it. It's about opportunity. It's about access. In terms of dual enrollment, it's about instilling that seed in a young person's mind that they can do college. They can. It's in the non-credit side, it's about going after a population that they may know they need higher education, they may want higher education, but they're not in a position necessarily to be able to pursue that traditional two-year pathway. They need something focused, something short, something to help them in changing careers or perhaps reskilling within their current career. So the opportunity is ahead, but I don't view this as a view of enrollment or enrollment strategy. Certainly, there are benefits there. It really, I see it, and our future as we move forward, which again, the work has already begun, it's about new doors. It's about new doors of access for our students. And I think a question that we have to consider as we move forward, I'm not calling it a challenge, but it's really maybe a reminder that as we move forward, how do we make it easier for students to enter CR? How do we help them to navigate and to be successful while they're at CR? And how do we continue to build the pathways that we have in place, but also to expand more to give them those opportunities to help them to reach the goals that they've set for themselves. I think that's where we are going. It is our future, and I think and I believe It's one that we're certainly going to be doing together. Good folks of CR, welcome back. Best wishes for an amazing 2026-27 academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. And I want to start by thanking all of my colleagues on the stage here. I feel so fortunate to be on a team with them. I come to work every day excited. I come to work every day thankful for them, but also, as I look out at the audience, so thankful to be in community with you all. I fundamentally believe that education is an act of hope, that we are engaged in world building, that we can look towards our future and we can build our future. And in doing so, we are helping our students to shape their own futures, and we're shaping the future of our region. So you've heard from my colleagues here so much about the breadth of our work, which is really grounded in the expansiveness of our mission, including transfer education, career and technical education and training, lifelong learning, and community enrichment. And so to me, that expansiveness is one of the defining superpowers of College of the Redwoods. And it's a large part of what brought me here last year. So I'm very enthusiastic about starting my second year here at CR. Another huge and related piece, and another form of expansiveness, is that we're defined by who we include, not by who we exclude. And that means continuing to ask who's missing, where barriers remain, and how we create an educational community in which more people have real opportunity to succeed and to shape their future. It also means listening. It means listening to the needs and to the aspirations of the communities that we serve and being willing to respond. So looking towards the future. For me, looking towards the future together is not primarily about trying to predict what is going to come, because we don't know. We could not have predicted COVID. We probably had a hard time predicting the impact that AI was going to have on our work a couple of years ago. It's really about how we as a collective respond to our students, respond to the aspirations of our communities, and how we respond to the moment to build our future together. So over my first year here at CR, I've had the honor to be a participant in 3 very, very different efforts, and these are district-wide efforts. And I think that they really exemplify, and again, they're just examples of so many of the things that we do that align with what I'm going to share. They exemplify how we do this responsive work of building our future together. And so they are the Shortened Courses Project, the CR Indigenous Language Institute, and our institutional response to AI, artificial intelligence. On the surface, they could not be more different, right? They have so little in common. But each starts with the same basic orientation. We pay attention to the people and the communities we serve. We seek to understand what's changing or what is needed, and we make thoughtful choices about how we respond. So the Shortened Courses Project, it's one example of us being willing to examine our own structures in response to student needs. This fall, we're piloting a very intentional model of 8-week courses. These are organized into 2 blocks within the semester. This will allow more points of entry for students, more points of entry in time. It will open more doors. It also allows students to focus on fewer courses at a time, so it reduces cognitive load. It supports student success in that students who may be having trouble at the beginning of the term, they experience a wobble, they can move out of a course and they can enroll in another course that begins in the second block of the term. And so they can maintain their momentum. They can ensure that they keep their financial aid, potentially. So we've approached this shortened courses project as much more than a scheduling change. We've really approached it holistically. Faculty were asked, what courses have they taught already in this model over the summer? And how has it worked? Which of the courses have worked well in this format? And also, what needed work in order to make the 8 weeks during the semester function better for our students and our faculty? Faculty over the course of the summer participated in a faculty learning community. They spent a number of weeks together working to transform their courses from 16 weeks to 8 weeks, curating what the assignments, assessments, and content would be in order to ensure that the rigor was upheld and that students are supported in their success. So this faculty learning community was led by our phenomenal faculty, Maria Morrow and Maggie White, as well as our Redwoods Online team. Yes, give them a hand. Lorraine Casazzo and Lee Dooley. But in more than the work on the courses, this has been a district-wide effort. We have worked through advising and counseling to make sure that students have an understanding of what they're stepping into when they step into an accelerated course. We have worked with financial aid to shift financial aid disbursement dates. We've worked even with IT to make sure that we've coded into WebAdvisor alerts so that students know that they're enrolling in a shorter course and that it's accelerated and that the expectations will be different. So what matters, I think, about this project is how we, again, as a collective, are working together to respond to the needs of our students and to question the structures that we have all worked in for so long, the structure of the semester, and being willing to shift it and to do that very intentionally, and then to assess, is it working? What needs work? And over the course of this year, we will be asking for feedback from faculty and students so that as we move forward next year, we will make changes, we will scale, we will adapt to the model. The 16-week semester works well for many students, but it doesn't work well for all. So many of our students are juggling work and other demanding responsibilities. This model is not going to work for everyone either, but it will support some of our students in their success. And so I really look forward to seeing how it shapes over the year and what the insights we gain so that we can improve the model next year. So responding to student needs well, sometimes it requires us to rethink our own structures and to shift those structures. The Indigenous Language Institute, super different example. Here, responsiveness means partnership in support of community aspirations. So we're building an Indigenous language hub that's focused on teaching a range of Indigenous languages. Right now, we have 5 that are either developed or in development with the aim of having all of them running by next fall. We are also building a certificate program to train Indigenous language teachers through our College of the Redwoods educational capacity. We've hired a full-time faculty member in Native American Studies who will serve as the faculty director of the Indigenous Language Institute, and that's Piowa Baumlin. Last week, Piowa led with the phenomenal support of Julie Gilbride, the Crilly Summer Intensive, which brought together language learners, teachers, advocates, and community members for 3 days of work on language immersion. For me, the important part of this work is understanding the college's role. We're not determining what Indigenous language revitalization should look like or what communities should want for their languages. We're listening. We're building relationships. We're recognizing tribal sovereignty. And we're asking how the resources and the educational capacity of the college can support goals that communities have defined for themselves. So that's a different kind of responsiveness, partnering with communities in support of the futures that they are already building for themselves. And then AI. What do we do about AI? Again, very, very, very different. Here we're responding to something that's emerging. We don't know where it's going, and it's going there quickly. Artificial intelligence is affecting teaching. It's affecting learning. It's affecting employment, communication, and daily life. And so over the past year, through the AI task force first, we engaged in a participatory inquiry process in which we sought insight into how our community understands, experiences AI, what their needs around AI are, and what their concerns are. Through a survey instrument, we heard from nearly 400 members of our community, students, faculty, and staff. We supplemented that input with interviews as well as conversations with various constituent groups across the district. And then over the summer, so the AI task force put down the baton. Over the summer, the AI ad hoc committee picked up the baton in doing this really thoughtful work and did a tremendous amount of work in analyzing those insights and developing district-wide first principles, which are durable statements of our values and our commitments as we think about our engagement with AI. The committee also put forth a set of recommendations and drafted some district-wide guidance that will go through shared governance. We brought on an AI faculty liaison, Tatum Loso, to help guide the work. Tatum will be engaging with faculty and the broader college community throughout the coming year as we move to operationalize the committee's recommendations. And so what I appreciate about this work so far is that we have really resisted reducing our response to AI to whether we should embrace it or reject it. That's not the question that we're asking. We're asking a far more useful question, and that is, how do we grapple with it? How do we grapple with it in ways that are consistent with our mission and with our values? Our response isn't predetermined. There isn't one thing we need to do. We can learn. We can make informed decisions. We can establish boundaries. We can evaluate what works in our response to AI. And we can change our approach as we learn more. So, shortened courses, the CR Indigenous Language Institute, and AI, they're so different, but they illustrate, I think, 3 important ways that we're responding to the moment. And we are building our future together. We're looking critically at our own structures, and we're changing them to serve our students and our community. We're bringing the capacity of the college into partnership with communities around goals that they have defined for themselves. And we are working collectively and deliberately to figure out how we will respond to an emerging technology. None of this work is simple. Often the progress is so much slower than we would like it to be. And we very frequently have to revisit the same issues again and again. And sometimes, mostly, always, the work can feel Sisyphean. We push a boulder up the hill and it comes back down, and we push it up again. But that's really part of doing complex work in community. We don't know what the next 5 years or 10 years will bring, But we have choices. We have choices in how we respond to the moment and how we move toward the future. Grounded in our mission, paying attention to what communities and students are telling us, and being intentional about what we change and what we support. So that we're not simply reacting to the future as it arrives. We are building our future together, and in so doing, we're helping to shape our students' futures, and we are helping to shape the future of our region. And with that,
thank you, Dr. Robertson. And I just want to, before I start, I'm going to take a very similar approach to Alan. I write words, but for many of you that know me, I take very much a coach approach, and I live in the moment. And as much as I also want to take the time to recognize my colleagues here, Alan mentioned it, the close-knit group that we've become, where we work across through instruction and in student services, our special programs, and our development. Our connection has become a very strong one in a very short amount of time. And it's a very important one that we model for all of you, so that you all can feel that you can model it for all of our students. And so we remain committed to that approach, and we will remain committed for all of you, whether you work in a workspace, whether you work in a cubicle, whether you're fortunate enough to have an office, whatever building you may be in, whatever site you may be at, we are all one team, and we are all one team together, interwoven for the common thread of our student success. I want to share with you, before we exit this stage today, something that Alan touched on as well, about a little bit of our appreciation of our history as we look into our future. It's two stories for me that reflect the exact reason why I have been so fortunate to make this place my home for 30 years. The first is a story that I encountered just 2 weeks ago with a student that attended here about 10 to 12 years ago. I made it a part as a project to get our house painted this summer. And I did not paint the house. I had workers to paint the house. But as a part of that, I needed to clear some shrubbery and brush from the house to make it a little bit more accessible. Through that work, I did it, got it all loaded up into the back of my truck, and I made my way down to Recology to throw it into the green waste. Once I had arrived, I backed my truck in, hopped up in the back of my truck. Well, maybe I didn't quite hop up in the back of the truck, but that kind of has passed me. I pushed and rolled into the back of the truck. But once I got up there and started to remove some of the shrubs, I noticed out of the corner of my eye one of the workers coming my way. And as I looked to him, I first had a little bit of nervousness because he had quite a stern cadence to his approach to me. And I thought, oh my goodness, have I thrown something into the green waste that should go into the trash? And am I in trouble? But it wasn't that. He had recognized me from about 20 yards away. And he walked over and he said, "Coach Brown, is that you?" And I said, "Yes, it is." "Do you remember me? I'm Jose." I'll be honest, I didn't remember him. But he said to me, he said, "I took a class from you. It was a fitness class. It was those ones where you don't do anything." I got very nervous. "I taught fitness classes where we don't do anything?" He says, No, the lecture one. I can't remember the concepts of fitness, thank you. And he shared with me a story that I had told in that class. And he had it verbatim, almost word for word as to how I shared it. And then he shared with me how CR had changed his life. That he was, and I didn't know this at the time, but he shared with me in the story, he was homeless when he came to CR. He had a drug addiction when he first came to CR. And he talked about how all of the people and that experience was so transformative that he now was so proud to share with me not only my story that I shared with him in class, but also the fact that he had a wife, he had 2 children, he had that job, he had benefits, and he had a future. And so I wanted to share that with you because it's exactly what all of you do. And it's the exact power that you all have in that student experience. And I want to say it to you also to remember that that's also an incredible privilege for all of us to have. The second story I want to share with you, because we're talking about future, is my own daughter's. She's an incoming freshman at College of the Redwoods. And my daughter is currently very vividly, daily with me, experiencing exhilaration, anticipation, nervousness, confusion, fear, a little bit of craziness, but most of all, she's experiencing an excitement to continue her educational journey, an excitement to continue her athletic journey, and an excitement to be able to learn about what she's going to do for her future. And every one of our conversations that has been transpiring over this last week, whenever there's a moment of that fear or worry, I very confidently am able to share with her and tell her, you have nothing to worry about. You are going to a place where you will be embraced by countless human beings that will take care of you, that will guide you, that will mentor you, and that will model for you the strength, the courage, and the confidence to pursue whatever you do with your life. And because of that, I want to say thank you to you all, because I'm so excited about my daughter coming to this place. With that, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you all. Have a great 26-27 school year, and I'm going to turn it over back to our esteemed president, Dr. Flamer.
Well, it is my honor to close us up today. When I woke up this morning, 3:30 a.m., trying to get some work done, but I don't think I slept very well. I realized this morning that this is my last time with you. This is hard. When I informed the board almost a year and a half ago, that I was leaving, I thought I would have a much longer off-ramp. And I said, boy, it's a year and a half, I've got this. That year and a half is gone. I have, as Trustee Dorn reminded me this morning, 4 months left. And it is bittersweet. So allow me to talk to you in a way that is my farewell to this college community. I'm going to share a story. And this is a story that, quite frankly, I have locked in my heart for 50 years. And I want to share it with you. My mother knew it, and my son knew it, and they're gone. My daughter knows it, although I think it embarrasses her. But I want to share it with you. When I was 16 years old, I had my driver's license. I thought I was so cool. I had a shirt that buttoned down to my navel. I had an afro popping out there. And I was driving on the highway thinking that, man, I can do no wrong. Life is grand. Of course, I didn't say grand when I was 17. I said a lot of other things. I was coming around the corner, and I was involved in a head-on collision. I survived it without a scratch. The car was totally gone. The police that came to the accident said, "You should be dead." And I said, "Probably, but I'm alive." Ever since that accident, I was probably 16 or 17 years old, sophomore in high school, maybe junior. Every day for my junior and senior year, I would go across the street to a church. I would find myself there every noon, asking, what is my purpose? Why am I survived? Why did I live? What am I supposed to do with my life? Of course, 17, what young man knows what the heck they want to do with their lives? I realized this morning that I found my purpose here with you. Like thousands of other students that have crossed or come through our doors, they found their purpose at College of the Redwoods, as did I. So I want to thank you for allowing me to do that. When I was first hired as the Vice President of Student Services, and then Student Services and Instruction, and then serving as your president, I came to the understanding of the power of higher education and the importance of relationship, not just with the institution, but with each other. And I came to the conclusion or the understanding of the power of love of people and love of place. And that is something that CEOs, presidents, people in higher education don't use that four-letter word when they talk about their work. But actually, the work that I have been able to do, I've been allowed to do, isn't a job and has never been a job. It is about the love of you and the respect of you and this wonderful institution. 5 or 4 months from now, we're going to go through a presidential transition. And for those of you who have been around for 20 years, this is not new. We have done this 4, 5, or 6 times, sometimes to some success, and sometimes not. I made a commitment when I became the president to my colleagues that I would do my best to president-proof the college. That commitment is not because the office that I currently hold for 4 months is not important. There are only certain things that a president can and should do. But part of my challenge to president-proof the institution was simply this. I wanted everyone, faculty, staff, managers, and administrators to realize their power, to step into their responsibility, and to wear their power with lots of pride. And why is that? Because when I go, and when other presidents go, the people in this room are the backbone of the institution. You will hold everything that we hold dear, you will uphold. You will uphold the values of transparency, communication, academic freedom, freedom of speech, diversity, inclusion, connection with community. That is your challenge. That is why I was here, is to help you realize you have the power to do so much more than a president can and should do. The future of the institution is on your shoulders, and I so appreciate that very much. I believe that CR is an exceptional institution. Though through everything that we have been through together, we as a collective have shown the capacity to face every challenge, to engage in hard conversations, and to change. You have the capacity to make life so much better for our students and, quite frankly, for each other. Let's not forget the connections and the support that you have with your colleagues, regardless of if their faculty, staff, administrators, students, is immaterial. And as you heard our deans talk about, it's about connection to each other. I still believe that CR is an exceptional institution. And I know that that belief is shared by thousands of students who have come through our doors, by the community who repeatedly supports us, and every one of you. I can honestly say that our college is better because of you. And that, again, the theme of Convocation, it is you. The college is not better because of a president. I want to be clear, but thank you for folks that have talked to me about it. This college is better because of you. I will never forget that, and I don't want you to forget that. We have outstanding leaders at every level. You've heard from our deans, right? And you have seen CRFO was respected, acknowledged today. The Senate, we have people who are willing and able and will continue to step up. I don't have any fear of the future for this institution. Whoever takes my place on January 1st will come into a college that is a phenomenal place to be. I've been up and down this state evaluating other colleges. Quite frankly, I can't wait to get home. I don't know if you realize how good each and every one of you are. You're phenomenal. I think people flock to work here. I think whoever does replace me will finally realize they then have come home. I want to thank Dr. Crystal Morris, Julia Morrison, Jose Serrano, and Marty Coelho and Amy Moffett for serving on my executive cabinet. I could not have done this job without them. Julie Gilbride, she really hates when I do this. And I don't care because, you know what, I'm leaving. I want to recognize my partner in crime in the President's office, Julie Gilbride. I don't know what I would have done without her. I would not have been as successful as some of you are telling me I am without Julie Gilbride. She knows my job better than I do, so thank you for sticking with me. I committed to the Board of Trustees when I told them that I was leaving, that I will do everything that I can to make sure that the transition is made fabulously and seamlessly for with my successor. It is extremely important that I do everything that I can, and I have challenged my executive cabinet to do the same. As I slide into retirement from CR, I have to admit, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. People have asked me, do you have plans? The only plan I have is to do nothing for 2 weeks. Which is both exciting and very scary for someone who plans their whole life ahead of them. I don't know. I think that my family would say, you have a break for 2 weeks, now go out and shovel some horse poop, which I would gladly do. I've also told people that I have a new place in Mount Shasta. I've started moving all the horses up there. Now, I realize that when I say I'm moving to Mount Shasta, people say, why? There's a special, I have to admit, there's a special energy to Mount Shasta. I know it's highly regarded as my soon-to-be ex-son-in-law said to me once, you're going to move up there with all those crazy people. And I simply said, I can't wait. My only plan on January 1st is this. Press the button. This is me on January 1st.
Hey, ring the alarm. Hey, whoa. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, some.
Well, again, thank you very, very much for being here, and thank you for allowing me to be the president. I have learned so much from you. Each of you have made me into a better president and a much better man, so thank you. And I hope that you all are looking forward to a wonderful 2026-27 school year. Now some house cleaning. You're invited to join us for lunch in front of the cafe. Breakout sessions will begin at 1 o'clock. And also I want to invite you to join us this evening at the Convocation Mixer in the Botanical Gardens. You'll have drinks, yay, appetizers, and live music from our own CR staff. Again, thank you. You have, thanks.